In this video, you're going to learn about how to keep that lead arm straight in the backswing and the most common reasons why it may be difficult for you to do so and how to fix it. So be sure to stick to the end to see some really great drills that you can practice. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you are new to the channel, you can subscribe to see more golf-related content in the future. Let's get started. Alright, so throughout the backswing, it's really important to keep that lead arm extended because it can create width in the backswing. It can actually allow you to kind of get your arms up higher and deeper behind you, okay, which is going to allow you to produce a lot more power. But also when you keep that lead arm straight, it'll be easier to manage kind of where you're striking the ground near impact. So there's a lot of benefit to keeping that lead arm straight. But a lot of people that come in to see me say that they either think that they have no mobility to do it, or they just feel like they don't have enough range of motion in some way. Whenever a player comes in, the mistake that I always see is that they kind of look like this. So you can see that when I'm demonstrating this, you'll notice, or if you pay attention to my lead shoulder, the common thing that I always see is that the lead shoulder never moves across the golf ball. It always stays kind of in front of the ball, okay? So you can kind of see where it is when I get to the top, and I tried my best to keep my arm straight, but a little bit bend is right here. So with that lead shoulder, it stays kind of in front of the ball, which doesn't give my arms that much range of motion. So the correct version of the swing here is you can see how much more my lead shoulder has now moved kind of across the golf ball to the right, okay? And because I'm allowing that lead shoulder to kind of move across the golf ball and kind of rotate, I'm giving my arms a lot more range of motion kind of near the top of my backswing. The more your shoulders kind of stay in front of the ball, your arms can't stay straight for very long, okay? It'll have to bend or lift, okay, in order for you to get the height that you're most likely wanting to feel near the top of your backswing. So now the second mistake is when a player gets to the top and they bend their arms, I'm seeing that their chest is always flexed forward. You can see my chest is kind of moving or pointing down to the floor. Even my hip is kind of pointing down to the floor of the belt. And again, if you were to do a test for yourself, if you were to try to make a backswing without turning your body at all, and you just move your arms, you'll find that your trail arm bends right away. Okay, and after a certain point, it'll feel really difficult, and in order for you to get the height, you either have to raise it vertically, or you have to bend your arm to get the club kind of back behind you enough. Now, the second thing, if you're flexed forward, if you do this test as well, if you keep your chest and your belt down, pointing down to the floor as you turn, number one, you're going to see that your head kind of moves off the ball. Okay, and because your chest and hip is down to the floor, you'll find that you can't really keep your arm straight up to after a certain point. It'll feel really low and flat if you do. But if you try to get some height to the backswing, you'll either have to lift, which is going to cause your arm to kind of be stuffed into your face, or you'll have to bend it, kind of like this. The two mistakes that limit mobility or your ability to kind of keep that lead arm straight has to do with rotation and also extension, okay? Now, at this point, if you did both incorrect, remember, it'll kind of look like this, okay? I'm flexed forward, right? My lead shoulder doesn't really move across. I'm not really rotating, I'm not really extending or pointing my chest upwards as I make a backswing, okay? Now, if I do it correctly here, you'll see that as I keep rotating, my lead shoulder continues to move across, and I'm able to kind of extend my chest to where I'm pointing the middle of my chest a bit more upwards as I continue to turn. And now you can kind of see my lead shoulder is moving a lot more across, okay, and my chest is up. So now, with my lead shoulder more across the ball, my arms feel like they have a lot more range of motion up near the top of my backswing. So I'm able to have enough mobility to keep my lead arm straight longer as I complete the backswing. So a third reason can be some people can't fully extend or totally straighten their lead arm. They only have mobility to kind of straighten it to like right here, where it's like it looks just slightly bent. Now, what's most important is not that you totally lock it out. If you can, that's great. But if you can only straighten it to a certain point, the important thing is to kind of maintain that length. Even if you have it slightly bent, that's totally fine. As long as you kind of maintain that length as best you can throughout the swing, then it can be more constant throughout the swing. But if you are having it a little bit bent and you add extra bend to it, then you risk extending it out early, and then you're going to kind of throw the club out wide and start casting the club, stuff like this. So even if you have range of motion issues in your lead arm, kind of trying to extend it, that's okay. A slight bend is actually fine, but important thing is to kind of maintain the length as best you can. A really effective drill that I get some of my players to do to try and feel the correct amount of rotation and extension throughout the backswing to keep their lead arm straight is you can grab your club and you can just place the side with your lead hand on it. Kind of, I'm gripping it with both palms down, but you can grip it like this. Okay, you can see my one hand is like right against my chest. Okay, my right hand's really straight. Now I'm in my posture, and I'm first gonna focus on just getting my lead shoulder to kind of move across the golf ball as much as I possibly can. I'm pointing my chest upwards. Now I'm gonna push my lead hand or lead arm up and across me, and at the top of my backswing, both of my arms are fully straight. So this is one variation of the drill. Okay, you can do this if you want to focus on getting the body to rotate and extend, and then you can kind of push that lead arm out and fully extend it so it's really stretched up and across you. Okay, or you can just grab it straight out. Okay, and you can just make a rotation, as much of a chest rotation as you can, and you're focusing on that shoulder blade. Okay, you can kind of see if I place the ball down. You don't want to do this. Okay, you don't want to just swing your arms like this. Okay, you really want to focus on getting the chest to kind of move. Okay, so you're getting the chest to move, and by the time you get to the top, both arms are straight. You should look down, and the shoulder blade, the lead shoulder blade, should feel like you're getting it to the right of the ball. So you're moving that chest. You're trying to get that lead shoulder to the right of the ball. Okay, you can kind of go back and forth, but just remember, you're not trying to do this. Okay, if I just swing my arms, you'll notice that that lead shoulder isn't moving. Okay, so you really got to get the chest to kind of move around and up. So once you kind of have a feel for that, then you can grab the club like normal, and you're trying to apply the same kind of feel. You're trying to focus on that chest moving around and up. Okay, so that lead shoulder blade is going to feel like it gets to the right of the ball as much as you can. Okay, you can kind of see I'm trying to get that chest to open up. And then you'll find that when you do increase the range of motion in your rotation and your extension, you should feel a lot more freedom here, okay, at the top. It should feel a lot wider. It should feel like you can hit it much harder as well. Okay, so give this drill a try. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, or if you have any concerns about anything, I'll be happy to try and answer your questions for you. Now, another great variation of this drill is to use a band. Now, you can get these bands at different strengths. I'm just kind of using like a medium strength band, but you can just let it out loose, and you can step with your lead foot only on top of one end, and you can just grab somewhere kind of in the middle of the band and your trail hand on the very edge of the other side of the band. When I'm doing this just adds resistance to it. If you're struggling to kind of feel like you can rotate your chest more, this is a great exercise that you can do to try and develop more rotation. With this band here, I'm just going to put my arms out straight as if I'm holding that club, and I'm just going to really drive my chest and turn my chest while keeping both arms extended. And you'll notice that there is a bit of resistance, so it's kind of going to force you to have to really get that chest to turn a bit more. So if you did this, a couple times, maybe like 10 times, 15 times or whatever, and you add some resistance to it, and you really focus on the chest driving around and up, then you'll find that when you grab your club, it'll feel much easier to kind of make that movement happen. Give this drill a try as well, and let me know what you guys think.